Okay, good morning. Good morning. My name is Douglas Mchekula. We'll be broadcasting the 2027 online admissions process for grade 1 and 8 for the 2027 academic year. We are waiting on the team from Gauteng Department of Education to start the briefing. We are expecting the MEC for Education, Sports, Arts and Culture and Recreation, MEC Lebogang Maile, to announce the date when the 2027 admissions will open for grade 1s and 8 and the application process. The briefing is scheduled to start at 11 o'clock. They are running a bit late. It's 11:07 right now. Thank you. We are also live in our YouTube channel, Kai News TV. We are live on Kai News TV. We are live on Facebook. No, on TikTok, we are not live yet. Right now, we are waiting for MEC Lebogang Maile to start with the media briefing. He will be telling us the commencement date and the application process for the 2027 online admissions. You will remember that this application process for exclusively grade 1s and grade 8 was started by the former MEC Panyaza Lisufi back in the early 2000s, and it has been continuing. It will continue. Lebogang Maile is the third MEC to take over from Panyaza Lisufi, and the Gauteng Department of Education is continuing with the online admissions. Note that the online admissions are only for grade 1 and grade 8. Umphakathi that wants to change schools for grade 2 until 7 and grade 9 until 12, you need to go to the school physically, and then each school has their own application process. But for grade 1 and grade 8, it's all online. For grade 1 and grade 8, it's only online. You will recall that you have to choose 3 schools with the first preference, and then it works on a first come, first serve basis. So we urge parents and guardians to apply to your nearest school as soon as possible, as soon as the dates that will be announced today. Make sure that you apply on GTE admissions.co.za. Apply online so that you will get, your child will get a preferred school that is obviously closer to where you stay. Because if you apply at a later stage and the school that you were planning on taking your child to has reached capacity, then you will take a second preference or third preference. Sometimes they do not have a choice but to choose a school for your child. So apply as soon as possible on the date that will be announced today. The Department of Education will provide more information about the application process, the commencement date, and the due date for the 2027 academic year online admissions. So let's wait for the team at GDE to start with the press briefing. Thank you. My name is Douglas Mchikula.
Every learner with a fair opportunity to access quality education. Central to this commitment is the Gauteng online admission system, which has fundamentally transformed the way learner admissions are administered and strengthened government's ability to plan for one of the largest public education systems on the African continent. Online admissions are far more than an annual registration process. Every application submitted by a parent for teacher provisioning contributes directly classroom to allocation, planning for teacher learner transport, classroom allocation, learner support materials, furniture infrastructure development, learner support materials. The integrity, accuracy, and timelines of every application therefore determine how effectively government responds to the growing demand for quality public education across Gauteng. Gauteng continues to accommodate the largest public education system in South Africa, serving more than 2.4 million learners across 2,111 public ordinary schools, comprising 1,417 primary schools and 694 secondary schools, including schools of specialization. Between 2025 and 2026 alone, learner enrollment increased by more than 23,000 learners, representing demand equivalent to approximately 19 additional schools, each capable of accommodating around 1,200 learners. These figures reflect the continued impact of rapid urbanization, population growth and migration into Gauteng, while highlighting the increasing pressure placed on education infrastructure and public resources. Since its introduction in 2015, the Gauteng online admissions system has replaced the outdated manual admissions process that forced parents to queue outside schools for days in the hope of securing placement. Over the past 10 consecutive years, learner placements through the system have increased annually, culminating in approximately 400,000 grade 1 and grade 8 learners being successfully placed during the 2025 admissions cycle. The system continues to improve service delivery by eliminating long queues, promoting transparency, strengthening planning through a centralized database, supporting capacity-based learner placement, and ensuring that admissions are administered consistently throughout the province. The department continues to improve the online admission system through annual stakeholder reviews involving parents, school governing body associations, principals, school administrators, district officials, and provincial call center agents. Their recommendations guide ongoing enhancement to ensure that the system remains efficient, equitable, accessible, and responsive to the needs of parents and learners. While occasional technical challenges may arise during periods of exceptionally high demand, Our commitment remains one of continuous improvement, innovation, and better public service. Having strengthened the system, our responsibility now is to ensure that every parent understands how to apply correctly. Successful admissions begin with careful preparation. Parents and legal guardians should familiarize themselves with the application process, gather all the required supporting documents, verify the accuracy of their personal information, and identify suitable schools before beginning the online application. Proper preparation reduces unnecessary errors, avoids delays, and significantly improves the efficiency of the admissions process. Every applicant will be required to complete the department's compulsory 5-step application process. This includes registering the parent or legal guardian, registering the learner's residential address, capturing the learner's personal details, applying to a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 5 public schools, and finally, uploading or submitting all required supporting documents within 7 school days after completing the online application. Registration alone does not constitute a valid application. An application will only be regarded as complete once every compulsory step has been successfully concluded. Parents are encouraged to select schools responsibly. While it is understandable that every parent may have a preferred school, applying to only 1 or 2 schools may reduce the likelihood of successful placement if those schools reach capacity before the learner is considered. Selecting between 3 and 5 schools, particularly those located within the learner's applicable feeder zone, improves placement opportunities while enabling government to utilize available school capacity more effectively. Placement remains subject to the applicable admissions, regulations, and the approved capacity of each school. Supporting documents remain one of the most critical components of the admissions process. Parents must ensure that every document submitted is authentic, certified where required, and consistent with the information captured on the online admission system. Required documentation includes identification document, proof of residence, proof of work address where applicable, grade 7 reports for grade 8 applicants, and immunization records for grade 1 applicants. These documents are fundamental to learner placement, feeder zone verification, infrastructure planning, and the equitable allocation of
grade
public
7
resources.
reports for grade
All
8
supporting documents must be
and
uploaded
immunization
to the
records
system
for grade 1
or submitted
applicants.
directly to each
These
selected school within 7 school days after the online application has been completed. Proof of home address remains the single most important document
Now, as
during
I've
the
suggested
admissions
to you-
process. Placement can only be confirmed once the learner's ordinary place of residence has been verified. Parents are therefore urged to ensure that their proof of residence accurately corresponds with the information captured on the system. The department continues to support rigorous verification processes, including home visits where necessary, to protect the integrity of learner admissions and ensure fairness for all applicants. The submission of fraudulent proof of residence, falsified identity documents, or any other dishonest information undermines equitable access to education, distorts government planning, and may result in disqualification of the application, criminal investigation, and other legal consequences. We also caution parents against individuals or businesses that promise guaranteed placement in exchange for payment. No public school place in Gauteng is for sale. The Gauteng Department of Education does not charge any fee for assisting parents with online admissions, and every official support service remains completely free. Parents are encouraged to report all allegations of corruption, bribery, or admissions fraud through the appropriate channels. Public education is a constitutional right and must never be compromised by unlawful conduct. To ensure that every family receives the support they require, the department has established 48 decentralized working centers, including all 15 district offices, the Gauteng Department of Education head office, and every public school across the province to assist parents throughout the admission process. Applicants are advised to register one reliable cell phone number as every stage of the admissions process, including application confirmation, document verification, reminders and placement offers will be communicated through SMS notifications. Parents are strongly encouraged not to change cell phone numbers during the admission cycle unless absolutely necessary. The online admission system currently serves learners entering grade 1 and grade 8 only. Parents whose children are currently enrolled in grade R must still apply online for admission to grade 1, as grade R learners are not automatically promoted into grade 1 at the same school. Applications for grade 2 to 7 and grade 9 to 12 must be submitted directly to schools. Parents applying to schools of specialization should note that Gauteng currently has 37 schools of specialization across 5 specialized disciplines: mathematics, science, ICT, engineering, commerce and entrepreneurship, performing and creative arts, and sports. Learners applying to these schools may also be required to complete placement tests, auditions, or sporting trials in accordance with the applicable admission regulations. Ultimately, the success of the online admission system depends on a partnership between government, parents, schools, and communities. Every honest application strengthens government's ability to plan accurately, expand infrastructure where it is most needed, appoint educators appropriately, and ensure that every learner enjoys equitable access to quality education. It is in this spirit that we continue to champion the principle that it takes a village to raise a child. Accordingly, we are pleased to announce that applications for admission to grade 1 and grade 8 for 2027 academic year will officially open at 8 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, 5 August 2026, and close at 12 midnight on Friday, 4 September 2026. During this period, all parents and legal guardians seeking placements for learners entering grade 1 or grade 8 at the public school in Gauteng must submit their applications exclusively through the Gauteng online admission system. Parents must register using new login credentials, as previous usernames and passwords will not be valid, and no new applications will be accepted once the application period has closed. We encourage every parent and legal guardian to apply as early as possible, submit authentic supporting documents, follow every step of the application process carefully, and make full use of the department's official support services whenever assistance is required. Together, through honesty, partnership, and responsible participation, we will continue strengthening public confidence in our education system while ensuring that every learner is afforded the opportunity to learn, grow, and realize their full potential. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MEC and the panel. Before we go to a round of questions, we will have a demo video playing on the screens, which is also live.
Because of the light.
Can't see anything.
Yeah. Yeah, Lala. Oh.
You can see this movement.
But we can't even hear.
Primary or secondary school for the 20. The Gauteng Department of Education's online admissions application process for all learners going to grade 1 and grade 8 in 2027 is starting at 8 in the morning on Wednesday, the 5th of August 2026, and ends at midnight on Friday, the 4th of September 2026. Placement will commence on Thursday, the 25th of October 2026 and end when all learners are placed. In this video, you will be guided through applying for your child to be admitted to grade 1 or grade 8 in a public, primary or secondary school for the 2027 academic year. To access the admissions online application system, you need to log on to www.geadmissions.gov.za on any smartphone or computer. This will take you to the admissions homepage where you need to click on Register to begin the 5-step application process. Step 1 is Parent or Guardian Registration. Note that after selecting Register, you need to read and accept the POPI disclaimer. First, you need to complete the personal details form and create a username and password. After you enter your ID number, a DHA validation box will appear where you need to type in all the consonants in your name and surname as it appears in your ID document. You may continue to apply even if your ID number cannot be validated, but please visit the Department of Home Affairs to have your ID number corrected. Ensure that you provide your cell phone number correctly and complete all the compulsory fields that have a red asterisk. Then click on Next step. The terms and conditions notice will appear. Select your address by placing a pin on a map of the area where your home is. Alternatively, if you're completing this application from your actual home address, you can click on the Use My Location button. If you select the Use My Location option, there is no need to move the red pin. The system will pick up the address of your location at the time of making the application. This works best when using your cell phone to apply. Once the correct address appears, click Select Location. Confirmation message will appear with the selected address. If the address is correct, click Continue and then Submit. The next page asks for the parent's work address. You only need to complete this section if you want to apply for school close to your work address. Once home or work address is added, click Submit to receive an SMS with your username and password. The username and password that you created when registering the parent details will be sent to your cell phone via SMS. This must be kept safely to access your application at a later time. Step 3 is learner registration. On this page, you need to complete all learner registration details. First, read and accept the POPI disclaimer, then complete all compulsory fields marked with a red asterisk on the form. If you select grade 1, you also need to select one of the 11 official languages as language of learning and teaching. Complete questions on early childhood development. After you've filled in all the compulsory fields, you need to click on the Apply to Schools button. If your child is going to grade 8, you must select home language and first additional language, as on the child's grade 7 report. Select the province where the child is currently in grade 7. If you select Gauteng, provide the name of the child's current grade 7 school. After you've filled in all the compulsory fields, you need to click on the Apply to Schools button. Step 4 is Applying to Schools. In this step, you need to apply to schools by completing the school application form online. When applying to a school, it is important to remember that the following criteria are taken into account and are shown here in order of priority. Number 1, home address within school feeder zone. Number 2, sibling or previous school. Number 3, work address within the school feeder zone. Number 4, home address within a 30-kilometer radius. Number 5, home address beyond a 30-kilometer radius. Number 6, schools of specialization. Remember, when you select or click on home address within school feeder zone, the system will generate a list of all schools with feeder zones that cover your home address based on the address you filled in step 2. You will be able to select schools from a drop-down list. From the application option field, you can select one of the following application options. Option 1, home address within the school's feeder zone. Remember that placement priority is given to applicants that live within the school's feeder zone, closest to the school. You may select a maximum of 3 schools at the same time. The second option is a sibling or previous school. This option allows you to select a maximum of 2 schools for previous school. The school where the child is currently in grade 7 and 1 school when using the sibling application option. This option is only available for learners going into grade 8 and not for grade 1 applicants. You cannot use the sibling application option to apply to grade 1 or grade 8 at a school where the child's sibling is currently in grade 7 or grade 12. You may use the previous school application option only if your child's current school is in the feeder zone of the high school that you're applying to. Option 3 is work address within school feeder zone. This applies to applications made to schools with feeder zones that cover the parent's work address. You can only select 1 school at a time for this option. Option 4 is home address within 30 kilometers. You can use this option if you would like to send your child to a school with a feeder zone that does not cover your home address, but is within a 30-kilometer radius. You can only select 1 school at a time for this option. Option 5, home address beyond 30 kilometers. You can use this option to apply to a school with a feeder zone that is beyond a 30-kilometer radius of your home. You can only select 1 school at a time in this option. The final option is schools of specialization. You can only select 1 school of specialization at a time. As part of the process, you need to answer 4 screening questions before applying to a school. Your child would need to pass a placement test, audition, or sporting trial to be placed at one of these schools. Once you have completed this section, you can submit your application. A thank you confirmation page is displayed with the reference number for the learner application. This is also sent to the cell phone number that you filled in earlier when you registered parent details. This does not mean that your child has been accepted at that school. It only confirms that the application has been submitted. After submitting the application, you have the option to apply to more schools, register another learner, upload documents, go to the dashboard, take a quick survey, or to log out. Please note that you can apply to a maximum of 5 schools for each learner. Step 5 is uploading documents. You will be able to upload documents by using the upload function on the system. All schools applied to will be able to view these uploaded documents. Parents who are unable to upload documents hand-deliver certified copies of their documents to all the schools applied to. Note that certified copies of documents must be uploaded or submitted within 7 days after making the application. Your document status will only reflect after you have uploaded or submitted documents and it has been verified by the school. If you edit your personal details, including ID number, after submitting an application, all details on the parent portal will be completely deleted and you will have to re-register and reapply. A summary of all the details you have entered into the system can be seen on the My Profile page. You only have one opportunity to edit your address details during the application period. If you edit your personal details, including ID number, all details on the parent portal will be completely deleted and you will have to re-register and reapply. After the 5-step application, the online application process is complete. Expect to receive an SMS with an offer of placement from the 25th of October 2026. Once an offer of placement has been made by a school, please log into the system and click Accept within 7 days. Space will be reserved for your child at the school where you accept the first offer, as long as no other offers are accepted. If you accept an offer from another school, the first space offered will no longer be available. Once the final offer is accepted, your child is officially placed at that school. Please note, parents with children that are currently in grade R must also apply online for their children to be admitted to grade 1. Play your part. Apply online for grade 1 and or grade 8 to secure space at a public school. Applications open on the 5th of August and will close on the 4th of September 2026.
Thank you very much, colleagues. We now take a round of questions and comments. So you are going to introduce yourself and the media house come forward. I then take hands. There is a roving mic.
My name is Gauteng Maile from Gauteng MEC. My question is,
Please increase your voice.
my name is Gauteng Maile from Gauteng MEC. My question is, if a grade 1 or a grade 8 learner has to move because their family has relocated after 4 September 2026, are the parents also allowed to register their children at any school of their choice?
Thank you, Gauteng. Number 2.
Valentine Teto for SABC News. Now, when it comes to the school feeder zone, there have been complaints by parents that it does somewhat disadvantage some of the children who stay outside of the feeder zone. So the question here is, if we are saying that only children who live within the feeder zone or the extended 30-kilometer radius can access a certain school, does that mean that children in the townships are then limited in terms of the choices they can go to? They can only go to schools in the township and can no longer go to the schools that are known as former Model C schools. In terms of documentation, it's a cause for concern at the beginning of every year where South African children are seemingly not able to find placement, and yet the children of migrants, for lack of a better word, who have only provided an affidavit detailing that they are in the country legally, seem to be taking priority. How do you then respond to that? And will South Africans will also be given the same opportunity to provide to be able to apply to a school without providing the necessary documents that South Africans are required to provide?
Thank you, Mbali. Third hand.
Thank you so much. My name is Banelo Zaniro. I'm from Tembisa Online News. I just wanted to find out in terms of the proof of residence, because it usually becomes much of a problem. what kind of a proof of residence, and if any parents doesn't have, what could be required for them to produce? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me see on the panel. Oh, the other one, okay.
Lucky Tusi from Southern Korea. I just want to find out, do we have enough centers where people can go and get help with this online registration? Thank you.
Thank you. We've got a question on our online platform from Suzukile Mukanti. And the question is, does this mean that the learners who stay in townships will only study in townships? Thank you, Mr. Williams, Mr. Councillor.
No, thank you for the questions. I'll deal with some, and colleagues will take others. The first question, Kopano, if a grade learner who's in, a learner who's in grade 1 or 8 decides to migrate or relocate post the registration period, what you must report is that the date is 5 August, and the closing date is 5 September. So that's what you must report, and that's what we are saying today. So every case will be dealt with based on its merit, informed by the laws of the Republic of South Africa, so that we don't send any mixed signals. We are asking that parents must register their kids on the 5th of August until the 4th of September. So that message is important. So that's one. And then 2, Mbali, on the feeder zones, disadvantaging kids outside the feeder zones. The same question as that of Suzukile, whether kids who are in the townships can study in the suburbs. And maybe you must ask another question, whether kids who are in the suburbs can study in good township schools, because we've got a lot of good township schools. Lot. In fact, if you look at our just matric results, check the number of schools in the townships that gets more than 80%, firstly. I'm starting with more than 80%, and that gets 100%. And look at the township schools that produces bachelor passes, township schools that produces distinctions and girl learners, and you can go on and on. So no one is prevented from going anywhere. That's not the point. The point is we've got a huge learner population that is growing every year because of in-migration into the province. And we've got limited schools. So we have to be responsible in how we manage the resources at the disposal and making sure that every learner is entitled to quality learning and teaching and quality education. That's what we are dealing with. So there are kids, who move, and the reason why we've got the system is that the system is able to guide us objectively. If school X is full, we're able to look at school Z, school Y, school. That's why there are options on the a system that parents can at least identify about 5 schools so that they can have options. So it's not like we've got schools in abundance, and it's easy for us to just allocate every learner. We want every learner to be in class, and we are trying our best with the limited resources. And we're not giving any kids of immigrants priority. That's not true. We are, and that's why we are saying we need documentation, and we also state which documentation is needed. So South African citizens who might be having difficulties with documentation for one reason or the other will also be helped. And as I've said, every case will be dealt with based on its merit. And we are, as previously experienced, expecting that people will provide documentation. However, we want to caution those who might be providing fraudulent documents, like fraudulent addresses, that they will be prosecuted, because we know that there are people who do this, and previously we have been able to identify a few of them. So proof of residence is proof of residence. It proves where you stay. It can be your bank statement, it can be your water and electricity bill. So it's proof of residence. When you go to a bank and they want a proof of residence, we don't ask them what is proof of residence, we give them. So proof of residence is proof of residence. Yes, there are enough centers, and that's why we said there's about 48. One, but two, there's all schools, 15 districts. That's more than enough. More than enough. 2,000 schools, it's more than enough. So, and for the whole month, it's more than enough. Yeah, I think I've dealt with those. And then, Chief Director, any additions?
Thank you, MEC. I think just to also give a little bit of comfort in terms of the applications and relocations. So MEC has said it correctly that what is important is to have your application in the system when we open and before we close. That's quite key. When your application is in the system, you would then furnish the department with the necessary documents that talks to your relocation. Because you in the system, then the application can be transferred to a school where you are relocating. So what is important is apply and have an application in the system. The other issues, they'll be dealt with through the system to wherever the parent is relocating to. Secondly, I think MEC has really covered the fact that our schools in the township are actually doing way better. If you really want to look at quality of education in terms of the bachelors, in terms of the pass percentages and pass rates, look at our schools in the township. And the admissions regulations are also very clear. The admissions regulations are saying we will prioritize applicants who live closest to the school, because we want learners to walk to school. We don't want learners to be in taxis and buses and traveling long distances. It's just not educationally sound. So we want them to be able to walk to the school from home, and we also want to place schools in the care of the communities where their learners are, so that they can care and look after those schools, because those are the schools that are serving those communities. The last thing that I want to also talk to is the fact that the system deals with an ID number. It doesn't deal with a human being as in a name and a surname only, but it deals with an ID number. So it does not know color, creed, or nationality. So there is no ways that the system can prioritize certain nationalities over others. So it does not deal with that. What is important is the ID number that you put into the system. And by the way, those ID numbers are also validated through Home Affairs. So as you apply, Home Affairs will be validating your ID number to authenticate it. So the system is very tight, and it's very secure in terms of such issues. Thanks.
Thank you very much. There's also another question from Ms. Zal of the Network 24. It says, originally, GDE had said the grade R's will be included in this process. So they want to know what causes the delay and when will the grade R's be included. Can you see in the panel? So we'll also take another round if there's any follow-up questions. Are there any? Mike?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Number 1?
For SABC News again. Now, this question is to the lady. In South Africa, there's a constitution where people are given the freedom of choice. And to a certain extent, the online registration process has somewhat taken away that freedom of choice in terms of what school someone would want to go to, you know. If children can only walk to school and the system is created so that children can walk to school, that means that children who stay in the townships must stay and go to schools in the townships. And those schools tend to have a challenge of discipline at times, where if there is a protest in the community over service delivery, the children are then told not to go to school. They're prevented from going to school. And if, as a parent, you choose not to expose your own child to that kind of environment where schooling can stop at any moment, given the fact that there is unhappiness within the community, and you choose a school that is outside of that community, is that a crime or is that not allowed anymore? Does that mean that all children must go to a school where they can walk to? Secondly, there are challenges with regards to, even though the system does not recognize creed or nationality, but there have been allegations where principals or something have taken bribes in order to take on the children of illegal migrants or migrants who are staying in the country. What are you doing to investigate such allegations and to ensure that those allegations do not stand in the way, or that act or practice does not stand in the way of legitimate South Africans who are in need of schooling? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. My name is Opake Ghana from Kasima America. What are the placement numbers and available space looking like, specifically in Soweto? Are local schools among the overcrowded ones?
Number 3.
Thank you. My name is Nick Kelly. I'm from Equality News. I just need a clarity on the proof of residence. Normally in the townships, we see people go to the council's office and ask for a proof of address, and the council will just scribble the paper, the ready-made one, and just give it. So, in terms of government, in terms of what the government is saying, what is the proper proof of address? And the second question, HOD, this one is for you. please make sure we get a strip, especially for us who are publishing online, a strip of that online admission. The last time I got this was 3-4 years back. In the past, we would write these stories every day, now and then. But when it comes to that advert, that strip, it helps government so people can be aware that the online admission is open now. Please, I'm putting it to you as HOT. Make sure we get it. It's not expensive. Yeah? We put it on our website and it looks nice. It flashes. And yeah, thank you.
Another question on the online platform from Mr. Sondlo. It says, how does it happen that a school like Affairs in Pretoria is 95% white and Afrikaner? And what are measures taken to disrupt white supremacy? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah. The question about Miss Zal, yes. I think she's correct that we were supposed to introduce the grade R's this year, but we are not yet ready. So we will do them next year. We're working on that. Yes, we have previously said we will do them this year or soon, but we are not yet ready. We will definitely do it next year. We don't want to do it for its own sake and the next thing we are found not ready. We want to make sure that once we start that process, we are ready. You know, Mbali, and I know you said you want Chief Director to answer. She will answer you, but there is no system that is limiting any freedom of choice. Everybody has got freedom of choice. But if you are in Bryanston High and you live opposite Bryanston High, and Bryanston High takes 1,200 learners, and you already have 1,400 learners. So what must Bryanston High do? They must continue admitting more learners because Mbali has got a freedom of choice. Mbali wants to be in Bryanston High. They are overcrowded. So what must they do? That's the real situation, by the way, what I'm telling you. It's not, and that's why you've got classes where there's 70 learners, 80 learners. That's not conducive for learning. So people have got rights. Government has got a responsibility to provide quality education. The next thing, if these classes are overcrowded, you will be writing stories that classes are overcrowded and that government is irresponsible. So there is no one who is challenging anyone's freedom of choice. We must be realistic. That's what we are dealing with. We've got 50,000 people every year coming to Gauteng. 50,000. In Gauteng, there were 1.4 million learners in 1995. As we speak today, there's 2.4 million in public schools. So this is not a small matter of semantics and looking, trying to look good on our part, because we are dealing with a real situation. Very, 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 very difficult situation. It's not easy to manage public schools in Gauteng. And there are very, 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 very few, and you can count them, incidents of disruptions in our township schools recently. Very, very, very few. You can count them. Most of our schools, whether townships or suburban schools, have improved. And that's why you'll get a school like what is that school that got number 1, which is in mobile classes? Lufereng. They are in mobile temporary classes, but they still get 100%. And not only once, more than once. And we can give more other examples about township schools. So this thing of trying to create an impression that township schools are dysfunctional, I think has to be challenged with facts. You must give us facts. We are giving you facts about matric results, for example. Give us facts. Show us. Just say to us, all kids who are in townships are failing matric. And that's why people must not be in the townships. Show us facts. And we can give you facts about the good work that educators who are in these schools are doing good work. And the issue of bribery and corruption, it is there. And that's why we are saying we do not want to dismiss it. And that's why we are saying parents and everybody must bring it to our attention, must report to the authorities, must report to the police, because it cannot be accepted. If there's any of our employees who's going to be found to have taken a bribe to help, claiming that they can help to secure space for anyone, we will dismiss those people, and we will also open criminal charges against them. And in fact, the public must not be misled and try to buy space. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. It will backfire badly. They could end up in jail. OPA. Where's OPA? Yeah, you're asking about overcrowding. Overcrowding is everywhere. It's everywhere. I will refer you to the statement I have issued on the state of infrastructure and overcrowding in Gauteng. And we give details that out of all our 15 districts, there's only one district that has no crisis. Only one, in City Bay. All the 15 districts have. And in that statement, we also say that overcrowding in our schools is sitting at 64%. In that statement, we also mention that to alleviate overcrowding, we need 200 schools. And to build 200 schools, we need 35 billion rands. These are the realities. We dealt with it. We have issued a statement on the state of education, a statement on overcrowding and infrastructure in our schools, and we gave you the number. So we can give you a copy of that statement. You will see that the problem is big. And that's why we're asking for the public to cooperate and help us to deal with the issue. People, Mr. Tele, who go to councillors, it's not rife. Our townships have got addresses. They've got bills. Municipalities give people bills. Whether they're paying or not, it's something else.
They know more. Municipalities know more issue. ESCOM is no more issue. Member post office is functional.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, I do receive my bill. I don't know. I receive my bill because I pay. So what I'm saying is that what happens, Mr. Tele, with these patrons, South Africans, when they go to their banks to transact? What happens? And maybe that will help us. Because I don't think we should expect government to operate differently and government to accept informality and accept wrong things because it's government. But when people go to the banks, they don't come with those stories. They find proof when they go to the banks, when they open accounts. But when it's government, why must we accept the wrong things? No, we want proof of address. That's what we want. If you are able to provide it in the bank, why don't you provide it to us? It can't be right. It can't be right. I mean, how would we verify? Why must we make things difficult and then complain when things are difficult? We make them difficult and then we complain. And I think it's high time that we have to tell each other the truth as citizens and government. You expect the best from government, and the government should give you the best. But you should also play your part as a citizen, and so that you don't expect that we must fix the education system and make sure that there's quality education, but you don't want to provide us with information that will help us to make right decisions. Because as we are saying, online system, it's not just about registration. It helps us to know and plan better in terms of how many desks and chairs must we buy, how many learner-teacher support materials must we buy. It helps us to know if we need temporary classes and where do, and that's why we're doing that registration early. This year, in August, by September, we should be knowing and planning for the reopening of the schools. But as we have seen previously, there are people who stay and who don't come to register, and they come in January. It can't be right. It's wrong. And the law says every learner must be in school. Education is compulsory. We've got the responsibility to uphold the law as the government, and we need to make sure that happens. Yeah, I think issues of advertising and all that, Mr. Tele, they are noted. Yeah. Sol Ndlovu, I think I want to go to this school. I was talking about, check what is referring to. But one of the reasons why we've got an online system is to help us, is to help us to deal with interference by administrators at school level. So it will be interesting to look at that school. It will be interesting to look at that school and to even look at the applications they would have received in the last 3-4 years and what has happened. So I don't want to comment about something that I don't know, but I hope you've got the name of the school correctly. I will visit that school just to understand what is happening, so that we don't just accuse each other of things that are not verified. But I will look at that. Chief Director.
Thank you, MEC. Mbali, just to add on to what MEC has said, your freedom is also finding expression in our regulations, because our regulations are saying you can apply to schools within 30 kilometers of your address. You can apply to schools using your work address. You can apply to schools beyond 30 kilometers of your home address. So that's the freedom that you have. However, we also all understand that with freedom, you can't have your freedom without limitations. So limitations comes with the rules, and the simple rule is we will prioritize people that are living closest to the school. So if you live furthest to the school, surely we will not prioritize you. However, there are schools in Bali where out of all the applications, they can place everybody up to the beyond 30 kilometers. So those people are catered for. So there is no limitation in terms of whether we're curtailing people's freedom to apply to schools. That's just what I wanted to add. But lastly, to say, MEC said it correctly. Every school has a particular capacity. You can't place beyond a capacity. If for grade 8 you only have 100 spaces, you have 100 spaces and you're going to place 100 learners. So you can't really place 200 learners. I just want to say to Saul, the school that you are referring to, within that vicinity, There's other schools that are offering only English, not Afrikaans. But also just to remind ourselves, remember that for every school, as parents and SGPs in those schools, we determine the language of teaching and learning in that particular school. But for us as a department, if a school is utilized fully, that there is no single space that we can say we can place one learner, you can't go and disrupt that school and say, let's disrupt you and place a different language. Yes, we can, but there are processes. If there's space to do it, we will do it. But at this point, this particular school MEC that they're referring to, it's utilized fully. And close to that school, there's quite a number of schools. There's your Pretoria boys, Pretoria girls, your Pretoria Tech. So there's the Clan. There's a number of schools that are only offering English. So we do understand that. And the system is also assisting us, because where schools have a declined number of applications, then we can see in the system, and we can also identify where we need to start utilizing, because we want to utilize government resources fully. Then we start utilizing those classrooms, and then we put the language that we require to put in that classroom, additional classroom in a school. Thanks.
Thank you very much, MEC on the panel. Colleagues, if there are any further questions, we'll take them as interviews, one-on-ones. We want to appreciate you for having attended. I therefore adjourn our press conference. Thank you. I remember you answered this question.
Yes, I answered this question.
Which one?
The same one, Afis.
Oh.
I've sent you the document. She answered it.
When? Now?
No,
Oh.
the group that is passionate about that school. Victoria.
If they qualify, they must apply.
No, they must apply,
And
because we need to.
Okay, that concludes the press briefing. Expect a summary from Sky News shortly. The opening for the online registration will be 5 August. 5 August will be the opening for the online applications. Expect a summary from our publications, from our social media platforms shortly. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Douglas Mchekula for Sky News signing out.